What makes a good illustration portfolio website? How do you build one that attracts clients and gets you hired? In this video, we'll break down the essentials to help you create a simple website that has everything you need to start making money from your illustrations. If you're new here, I'm James, an illustration agent. I help illustrators build their careers. This is episode 1 of the Business of Illustration Essentials. I'm going to share my thoughts on different subjects here as concisely as I can, just so you get the basics and the essentials. I'll point to other videos and resources for more in-depth explanation and reasoning if you want to dive deeper. You can check out the rest of the playlist here. Your illustration portfolio is your shop window. It's where you show your best work and demonstrate to potential clients what you can do for them. When I talk about an illustration portfolio, I'm talking about your portfolio website. Not a printed portfolio, you don't really need one of those. Not an Instagram account, that's a different thing. A Behance portfolio is okay, but it's not really yours. A portfolio is your own dedicated website where you show your work the way you want to show it, and you have control over how it looks. It doesn't have to be expensive. In fact, I recommend you don't spend too much on it at first. You can use website builders like Squarespace, Cargo, or Wix to put it together. They're relatively inexpensive. Your portfolio website is not for you. You don't build it to suit your own preferences. You build it to appeal to potential clients and make it easy for them to use and understand. Yes, there's an element of design that will reflect your personal style, but you're not visiting your website as a user. You're an architect who's designing a beautiful restaurant or hotel, somewhere that customers want to visit and enjoy spending time in. And you can achieve that in a few simple ways. Make it easy on the eyes. This means not too much visual clutter. There are some beautiful looking websites out there that have a lot going on visually, but they're designed by experts and specialists. If you're designing your own portfolio website, keeping it simple is probably the way to go. You also want it to be easy to use. You don't need to think outside the box when it comes to the layout. Put the menu bar where people expect to find it. Make sure people can find the essential parts of your site easily. That's your work, your contact details, your about page, and a link to your social media. You should also design your website in a way that is quick for a potential client to find what they're looking for. That means no entry pages that say click here to enter. It means laying out your grid of images so that the client can see a lot of your best work at a quick glance. If you have single full width images all across the page, the client will have to scroll down a long way to see like 20 of your illustrations. And you know what? They probably won't. But if the first page of your portfolio is a grid that's maybe 4 to 6 images across, if they open that page on a 24 or 27-inch monitor like I've got, they'll see pretty much all your best work in one eyeful, maximum impact, very quickly. That's what we're aiming for. So think about this simple layout. You've got your name at the top left, maybe with a little logo. Top right, you've got the menu, portfolio, about me, contact, and social icons. There's lots more you could put in there, but this is the essentials. The portfolio section of your website, where you show your work, is actually your homepage, the page visitors first see when they type in yourportfolio.com. Under your name and the menu, you'll have a short paragraph about you, what you do, what method you use to do it, and some keywords about your style, the kinds of clients you work with or want to work with. For example, I'm James, a watercolor illustrator specializing in scientifically accurate illustrations of dinosaurs for museums, publishers, and education, or whatever it is that you do or want to do. And this will change over time as your career evolves, but it's a short introduction to let a potential client know if they're in the right place. If they're not looking for scientifically accurate dinosaur illustrations, there's no point us wasting their time. But if they are, this short paragraph that's easy to scan lets them know they've found what they're looking for. Underneath that paragraph, there's a wall of your best illustrations that they can browse through easily and quickly without too much scrolling and without too much clicking. Scrolling and clicking are not difficult tasks, but imagine that you only have 10 seconds to make an impression on this client. Every click and every scroll counts. If you're hiding some of your best work away in project folders where the client has to click the thumbnail to see the whole project, well, most people will never see it hidden away in there, so stick it on the front page. I've mentioned showing your best work a few times now because this is what your portfolio should be, a curated selection of your best work so far. It's not where you store everything you've ever made. We're aiming for an art gallery, not a warehouse. At the start of your career, you won't have much work to choose from, but as time goes on, you'll be making new work regularly, and you'll look back on something you made a year ago, and it'll be rubbish compared to what you can do now. So you shouldn't show it anymore, because it's not a good representation of what you can do at this point in time. Let's imagine you have 20 illustrations in version 1 of your portfolio. It will be a very gradual and organic evolution over time as you add new work and remove some older pieces. You don't need to update your website every week, but maybe it's something you do monthly for a period of time while you're developing your style and trying different things out. Once you're more established, you might only update it every 6 months because your style will be more consistent. If your style is changing a lot in the early days, it makes sense to update your portfolio more frequently. This keeps it fresh, and when you're sending links to clients, every time they look at it, they'll see something new and they'll see how much progress you're making. If you've got multiple styles that you want to pursue, or maybe you've got a grown-up style and a kid's style, it probably makes sense to add them to different pages in your menu bar rather than mixing them in together. You'll likely be sending those two different styles out to completely different kinds of clients. So if the styles are mixed in together, it will weaken the impact for both of them. Let's say one style is edgy, conceptual, editorial illustrations. You want to show those clients a page full of the work that they will like. And the other style is fairly traditional kids publishing stuff. You want to show those publishers the kinds of work that they like. Two separate landing pages make sense from a practical point of view. It makes it easy for those two clients to find what they're looking for. In your About page, you can keep it simple. Add a real photo of yourself. This is a good way to connect with other real humans. If they like your vibe or they think you look like their sort of person, it will endear you to them. I suppose it could have the opposite effect too, if they don't like your vibe, but having no picture is a bit soulless and too anonymous. An illustrated self-portrait will do if you're really against having your own photo on there. A couple of written paragraphs about who you are, where you live, some more detail about what you do. Think about what a client wants to or needs to know, and in all honesty, it's not that much because the quality of the work is the primary purpose of the website. You can show a bit of personality here, but don't ramble on for too long. Just keep it simple. Add a client list if you have any that are worth showing, awards too if you have any. On your contact page, add a link to email you directly. You can have a form to fill in if you want, but personally, I don't like those because I don't trust them. I'd much rather send a direct email. Make sure wherever the client is on your website, it's not difficult to find your contact details. After all, the goal of this website is to get people to contact you and to hire you. Don't forget that. That is it, basically. And it is basic, I know. There's loads more you could add to your website, and it will probably grow over time, but you don't need to overcomplicate it. A portfolio website is a simple, functional, nice-looking gallery, essentially. If you want more videos like this, check out the Business of Illustration Essentials playlist on my channel. I'll be adding to it regularly. And here's another video where I analyze one of my favorite illustrators' portfolio websites. See you next time.